Crazy backwards. Ladies and gentlemen, the second corporate war is upon us, and if you're intending to join up as an independent contractor, you've got to have the right gear for the stuff. Here at Hop Up Labs, we are dedicated to bringing you the best gear performance reviews, because when your life's on the line, you'll be glad you listened to us. Earlier this month, a large-scale offensive spearheaded by Tadashi Corp was successful in pushing its rival corporation Hellion outside of Sector 8. Unfortunately, it did come with costs. Tadashi did lose one of its frontline independent mercenary contractors to a Hellion line emplacement.
Hop Up Labs has managed to acquire that operator's firearm, as you can see here, very nice. This is a Tokyo Marui built M14 SOCOM, as you can tell by the shortened barrel length here. Figure a nice little tip to butt. I know you guys like that kind of stuff. So, mock suppressor, I believe it's a 14mm counterclockwise. Behind that is about a 400 or so millimeter 6.03 Prometheus stainless steel barrel. Very nice. A little overpriced maybe, I've heard, but it works. The gearbox, totally gutted, mainly SAH Prometheus parts. I think the only thing that's stock here is the hop up. You know, tappet pad, cylinder head, piston head, SAH or Prometheus mix of parts. You know how it is with these kind of older style, more unique kind of guns. They hard to find parts for them. In terms of the battery space here, you got the full length of this, pretty nice. I would say the triple cell longer batteries took us a second to get it maneuvered in there properly, but it fits, closed up. You know, nunchuck could probably do a little bit better. It is hooked up to a WarFET MOSFET from Gate, so I think it could really fit in here. It's just put onto the end of the battery line here, hooked up. No malfunctions so far, seems to be firing pretty good. Externally, standard fiberglass stock. They put a nice foregrip on here as well in the front. I believe this is a Matrix, this is like one of the Matrix scope mounts, as well as a 3.9 by 40 scope here. 3 to 9. You know what? That's the tip to butt. As you can tell, this is a long time project from this operator, probably from the first corporate war.
The R&D team at Hop Up Labs did want something they could market and sell to independent mercenaries that could rival the performance of that M14, but at a much more reasonable, or just a lower cost. Let's not say reasonable, a lower cost. Now that M14, due to all of its work, it actually ended up being about $700, which for certain things can be a bit of a steep price for some people, especially myself. Enter the CMMG licensed EMG SEMA Platinum MK47. Now this is a joint project, obviously licensed by CMMG, the makers of the original SR47 and Mutant. This right here is a joint project by EMG and SEMA Platinum to create their own stylized, almost high performance SR47. Starting from the tip, we do have a 14mm counterclockwise threaded barrel. Put tracers on there, put any kind of suppressors, anything you want, muzzle brakes. We move down to a free-floating M-LOK rail with a monolithic Picatinny for all of your attachment needs. Now the barrel, I believe, is a standard SEMA 6.03 barrel. Nothing super crazy in this one so far, but the real beauty comes when we hit the gearbox. The hop-up is standard SEMA hop-ups. I believe it's their SR line, so similar to SEMA's SR47 line, but the gearbox is actually a SEMA Platinum version 2 gearbox with EMG heat cut gears, so it's a very unique and very cool gearbox. When it comes down to the hop-up is a little bit proprietary. Sometimes you can get a different hop-up in there with a little bit of work, but that's something we'll talk about a little bit later. Now, one of the great things about this gun is that it's actually wired to the rear right here. We do have a toolless open. If you go ahead and pull this small notch down, you can open this back part up, put whatever batteries in there. And that is far better, in my opinion, than the typical AK variants that are, usually wired to the dust cover. That dust cover really does not leave a lot of room. And I've had a lot of times, I've been trying to fit like a nice 7.4 Titan or 11.1 Titan in there, and it's never going to work. It's just not going to work with the, the OG SEMAs that I have. This one, however, it will. I can use my typical 7.62s in here, but I can also continue to run the nicer batteries, those Titans. It is wired to Deans, which is really nice, and because we wanted to give it that little bit of edge and keep up with that M14, we did actually wire a gate aster into this this item here, so this does have a programmable MOSFET in it. The MK47 comes out to about $330 for this variant I have here. That being said, EVIC does charge an extra $100 to install the gate aster in here, so this totaled at about $430. Now that is a significant chunk off of that $700 price tag we saw on the M14. The question is, are we willing to make that cut to compromise? Is this a compromise? Who's going to come out on top, and what are we willing to pay to come out on top? All of these questions and more to be answered. We will do our best to test these items, put them head to head, and see if the people at Hop Up were able to find a marketable alternative for the every mercenary that isn't such a deluge into projects.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Installation 17, or as we like to call it, the lab. Today we're here to test the two guns you saw before, the Mark 47 and the M14. We're going to be testing whether or not you can get, for about $350, if they can match up the performance of a custom built gun, estimated 700 plus. We'll see how they hang out with each other.
392, 396. Oh wait, hold on. Are we on 2.5?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we are. Okay.
Ugh.
Ooh. We're getting a red tag. Someone's getting a red tag. There we go. Okay. 0.25s, all sub CQB. I'm gonna just like rapid fire 3 shots. All right, pretty good. So now we are going to be trying the long distance accuracy test on the MK47, Mark 47, however you want to call it. Now, as we mentioned before, I think we're firing at around 150 feet or something, maybe a little bit under that, but it's certainly above 100. It's quite a distance. As we saw, this didn't chrono very high. I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to make those shots or if it's just going to end up kind of waning off. So we'll see if this DMR can actually DMR. We're gonna do about, I'd say 70, 80 foot target attack now. We've got a target downrange as normal that we are going to shoot at and see if we can get some good accuracy at this distance. Obviously, the 47 did not perform as well as a DMR should from that distance, but when it comes down to it, this is where most engagements can happen. So if it works with this, it should be all right. Here's our generalized grouping Actually, quite a few alphas in there. Middle of the target does have a decent grouping for that distance at the FPS we saw. That being said, it's gonna hit a torso target from that range, but you might have to pop off a couple shots.
Pretty accurate.
After conducting tests to find our answer, I think that personally, as the owner of the 47, the CMMG one, I think I can personally say that the answer I found was no. You can't really just magically get that kind of performance out of a gun that's about half as much. It really shows just how much work, time, care, effort, and overall even money, funds were put into the M14. A couple of the big things that I really realized about this gun right off the bat, and one thing that actually super bummed me out about this gun. To start off, the magazine catch is not what I would consider positive at all. When it comes to some of the regular, more boring or I guess basic SEMA magazines, they really do just snap in there. But this is one of the magazines that came with the gun. And here, I'll let you listen in while I try and put it in. So I slot it, it kind of sits there and I just have to slightly hold it firmer. And it just kind of clicks slightly. It's a very, I don't know how to describe it other than kind of weak, unfortunately. You just kind of let it slowly push its way up in there instead of it, when it comes to fast reloads, you're not really going to be, doing some crazy Iraqi or AK reloads. I guess you can't really do the Iraqi reload on this anyway, but you're not going to be doing some crazy, cool, snappy reloads with this. You kind of have to take your time, and it's a lesson that I learned the hard way. I thought that maybe I wasn't rocking it in well enough, and so the first magazine I actually tried to rock it in too hard, ended up breaking the catch on the front of the magazine clean off. That magazine is not going to be able to be used anymore. That's trash now. All because this one really just couldn't slot in.
As a comparison,
it just doesn't hold up the same way. I haven't had time to test out the MOSFET in this yet, so that could change a little bit of my perspective. That being said, at the moment, I think that this gun's a challenge. In addition to everything I've gone over, one thing I haven't even mentioned is the hop-up issue. One of the biggest issues that people have found with this specific hop-up is that when the bolt is traveling back forwards, it can sometimes actually catch some of the hop-up gears. Just an absolute, complete fuck-up in my opinion. From what I'm seeing, as good as these brands are, there was just too many cooks too many chefs, and they all just kind of came together on an idea that just didn't quite pay out the way that I think they were hoping, and especially not the way I was hoping. In the future, we got a new bucking, new hop-up coming for this bad boy, maybe even, do some motor stuff, but at the moment, I think that while I'm excited about it, I love the look, I really want a DMR, it's not actually performing the role of a DMR for me, and I think that the M14 really has locked down what it does, done it best, and shown that you can't get $700 from $300 or even $430.
Hey guys, Zugswang here. Now, I do think that I come off a bit negative in this review, and obviously it was mostly because this item was supposed to be, for me, a DMR, and it really kind of missed its mark in that regard. There was also some kind of strange stuff that went on with the manufacturing of the item. That being said, I do just want to tell you a couple things that I really do like about it that contribute to why I'm keeping it and why I'm not, giving it back or selling it. First of all, the trigger response is very snappy and very strong. This is a very, very satisfying gun to shoot. I absolutely love it. The gearbox is very solid. You've got some great elements inside that gearbox that, it seems like they can handle any upgrades that I'd really want to put in this. The external construction is very well made. Nothing creaks, bends, or feels like it's going to fall off or break. It's a very cool looking gun. The SR line is iconic. This SR47 look, you know, all my Tarkov buddies out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So when this item works, the elements that work really work well. It's just that hop-up issue and the weak spring really take this out of the role I needed it to fill. If those hadn't been an issue, really all we would have been maybe looking at would be a new barrel and new bucking, possibly.
Talk is cheap. Ammunition is 6mm BBs and plastic.
Yeah, we're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am callsign Zugsway, and this is Spear here, and we are a part of Hop Up Labs. We are here to give you the best that we can when it comes to engaging gear reviews. We're not trying to sit down in front of a table. No hate to those kind of people. I just kind of fall asleep when it happens. But we're trying to get out into the field, get out into Installation 17, the lab, and really show you with as much camera and as much tech as we can the performance of these items, you know, how they really, really work, instead of just telling you and hoping that you kind of get it. So if you have any comments, any suggestions, any things that we can do to try and make this easier for you guys to understand at home, please let us know.
We didn't really use a lot of time, but...
Yeah, we did. We have 2 MOSFETs on the... That's huge.
Yeah, we...
Also, I'd like to say that this was the one...
The GoPro is still recording, goddammit. Fuck. We have 2 GoPros, a scope cam, a Blackmagic, a Vixia with fucking lapelled microphones.
That's recording equipment, not...
That's tech. That's technology.
Like and subscribe.
Go ahead and leave a comment. Your favorite airsoft memory. Go ahead and talk about your favorite airsoft memory. Guys, the comment section is out of control. I did not steal that from anyone. That is an original thing.
That is an original thought.